Welcome to Positive Energy with Crystals. My name's Hillary, and I am so excited about this. I have wanted this collection, I don't know, for a long time. And for some reason, I kept putting it off. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense why I kept putting it off. It's just crazy. This is Judy Hall's The Crystal Bible. And I've wanted this forever. I wanted all three. I think part of my thing was I wanted all three, and I thought that was a little crazy. And then I bought, I haven't done the video on it yet because it's just so overwhelming. I bought a massive crystal collection, and I decided it was time. I needed to commit. And so let's get started. Let me show you the first one first. Now, you can buy the first one on its own. You don't have to buy the whole set. And really, if you're just starting out or just not as crazy about crystals as I am, this first one is plenty. There's so much information in this first one. It's plenty. So let's start looking at it. So there's reference. They're in alphabetical order. So if you're looking for a certain crystal, you can look here. Or there's a glossary in the back too. That was, I don't know, this goes over a little bit of information, but this is what I wanted to show. So this very first sentence: the more you understand about crystals, the more effective they are. I love that, and it is so true. The more you learn about them, the more you feel them working, the more you know they're working, the more you can work with them, and I love that. So it starts off with how crystals are formed, where they're formed, the shapes, that they're formed in, how to use them for jewelry, for decoration, for just decorating your house. Then it talks about some ways to use them for healing. And that section's pretty big, of course. Selecting crystals, caring for your crystals, using them in meditation, and then we get into the directory. And there, I would say, first we talk about attributes. And then, so I would say in this book, I own most of what's in this book. There are a few that I don't have, which I was surprised that there were so many in this book that I do have. I don't have that one. I want that one. So I have that one. There are so many in this book. And she gives colors they can be found out in, appearances, how rare they are, and where they can be found, the attributes, which I think for the most part, the attribute section gives a lot of the healing and metaphysical properties. How you can use them in healing, the position is where on your body to place it to get the best results. But there are so many in this book. And it surprises me, as many that are in this book, that there's 2 more books. And even in those 2 more books, not even everything is in there. So then you get to the back of the book, and she goes over shapes. And what they're good for, how to use them. And Where's the section I want? There's lots of shapes. I'm sorry if the air conditioner is loud. I'm not shutting it off. Where? See, lots of shapes. Okay, and then now this part is in all 3 of the books. How to use it with the zodiac. And then the next part is chakras. How to use them with those. Explaining it. I think this book has a little more explanation on the chakras than the other 2. How to make elixir. Talks a little bit about layout. Oh, here. So, this is the only book that talks about the divination, crystal divination. Now, if you remember in that other book that I reviewed, it was talking about it too. This is a whole new thing to me. I had never heard about it until I was watching, whose channel was it? The Old Crow and Her Cottage. It's a very good YouTube channel if you haven't seen it. I'll put a link to it in the description. And Brittany was talking about, in her video, I think it was during Christmas, and talking about when they were doing the 12 Days of Christmas tag, she used crystals in divination. And I couldn't believe I'd never thought of that. And so in that other book that I reviewed, it had a small section about it. And in this book, Judy has, I think there's 2 or 3 pages. 2 pages. So, I'm thinking about, I've got most of the crystals in here. I just got to make sure that they're all kind of, I want to keep them kind of all the same size. So I need to go through and see what I've got size-wise. And make sure that, you know, they're all similar size, similar feel, you know, don't have some raw, because then you can kind of, you know, what you're pulling out. And then there's the glossary and an index. If you are just starting off and you want something like this, this is the first one, is the one to get. You don't have to get the other 2. Like I said, this has the most common ones. I have most of what's in this book, so this is really all you have to have. So now we have book 2. So what I understand from reading in her description is that there were more that needed to be gone over, and then there were some that she had more information about. So there are a few repeats in this book, but not very many. I really couldn't even find them. But it's more information. There's, like, back here, there's some that are 2 crystals in one that are common together. And where is, oh, there's like this whole section on, if you can hear my dog snoring, that's hilarious. There's a whole section, just tons and tons of quartz. Oh, Aaron's selling it. So, here we go. There's a lot of quartz in this book. So it's the same thing. It starts off with, this one starts off with some history, some biblical history, stuff like that. Some more how they're made information, which is a little bit different than the other book. Using them for protection. And gridding, and not just gridding, mostly it's talking about around your body and rooms. My camera's overheating. And then we get into, now this book, I only have a few of what's in here. but there's a lot in this, probably about the same amount that was in that first one. Like I said before, there's a few that are repeat, but it's very, very little. And then once you get to the back again, she goes over a lot of the same stuff. Working with them, cleansing them, elixirs, the chakra information. I think the zodiac. Oh, there's a little bit more. Crystal medicine wheel. Points. Where to place them. And then the glossary. So that's the second book. Alright, and the third book. So same thing. It starts off just like all the others. It talks about structure and the energy. It goes into explains a lot about how the energy works, how to work with it. Some interesting information about skulls. It's mostly historical information. How to work with your skulls, building with stones, and then we get into the directory. Now on this book too, I have a few. I don't have a lot. Now she did the same thing. She had more information. There's a lot of agates in this one, and then at the end there's even some more quartz. But then there's also some more mixture type ones where it's got something with something else. Of course, I'm not going to land on anything. Well, there's quite a few jaspers in this one too. So, like on the jaspers and agates in the other two books, especially the first one, it's kind of it's more like a general agate, general jasper, general quartz, and these two books she goes into a lot of more detail. Talks more about specific agates, specific jaspers, stuff like that. So now, like I said before, this one I got a couple that I've seen, and then in the back, even the ones that I don't have, it was still fun to read about them. So again, talking about working with them, chakras, and I think this one, there's a lot more chakra information in this one. I guess it's the first one that only talks about the zodiac stuff. And then the glossary and an index. So, like I said, me, because I've officially reached collector status, these two books, it makes sense for me to have these two. Not everybody needs these two, but this one I think, if you're wanting to learn as much as you can about crystals, the original Crystal Bible is a good one to have. I highly recommend all three though, and all three make me happy, and I love them. And they're kind of the perfect size. I've got small hands, so using my hand really doesn't help. But so that's Judy Hall's Crystal Bible, all three editions. Like I said, the reason I bought them, I've wanted them for a long time, but the reason I bought them is I came into a very large collection, and about a third of the way sorting through them, I decided I needed to go ahead and get these. And I did, and I'm happy. So that's it for now. See you next time.